Everyone, hope you all are fine. Let's begin a session with science and technology. First is UN Spider. Okay, the United Nations Platform for Space-Based Information for Disaster Management and Emergency Response, that is UN Spider, was established in 2006 under the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, UNOOSA. UN Spider develops solutions to address the limited access developing countries have to specialized technologies that can be essential in the management of disasters and the reducing of disaster risks. Remote sensing for Earth observation, satellite based telecommunication, and global navigation satellite systems contribute to more effective disaster risk management and emergency response. It is UN Spider's mandate to enable developing countries to use all types of space based information in all phases of the disaster management cycle, including prevention, preparedness, early warning, response, and reconstruction. Next one is National Supercomputing Mission, that is NSM. Widescreen News. Recently, a Right to Information RTI has revealed that India has produced just 3 supercomputers since 2015 under the National Supercomputing Mission NSM. The National Supercomputing Mission was announced in 2015 with an aim to connect national academic and R&D institutions with a grid of more than 70 high performance computing facilities at an estimated cost of rupees 4500 crores over the period of 7 years. It supports the government's vision of Digital India and Make in India initiatives, right? The mission is being implemented by the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, that is MEITY. Through the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, Pune, and Indian Institute of Science, IISc, Bengaluru. It is also an effort to improve the number of supercomputers owned by India. These supercomputers will also be networked on the National Supercomputing Grid over the National Knowledge Network, that is NKN. The NKN connects academic institutions and R&D labs over a high-speed network. Under the NSM, the long-term plan is to build a strong base of 20,000 skilled persons over the next 5 years who will be equipped to handle the complexities of supercomputers, right? NSM's first supercomputer named Param Shivai has been installed in IIT BHU, Varanasi in 2019. It has 837 teraflop high performance computing HPC capacity. The second supercomputer with a capacity of 1.66 petaflop has been installed at IIT Kharagpur. The third system, Param Brahma, has been installed at IISER Pune, which has a capacity of 797 teraflop. Right? Next one is MAX 4028. Okay. Widescreen News. Scientists from Agarkar Research Institute, that is ARI Pune, an autonomous institute under the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, have developed a biofortified durum wheat variety that is MAX 4028, which shows high protein content. It is a semi-dwarf variety and has shown the superior and stable yielding ability of 19.3 quintals per hectare. It is resistant to stem rust, leaf rust, foliar aphids, root aphids, and brown wheat mite. Right? The wheat variety has shown high protein content of about 14.7, better nutritional quality having zinc 40.3 ppm and iron content of 40.3 ppm and 46.1 ppm respectively, good milling quality and overall stability. Okay, to be accepted. The Max 4028 variety is also included by the Krishi Vigyan Kendra, that is KVK program for United Nations Children's Fund, that is UNICEF, to alleviate malnutrition in a sustainable way and can boost the Vision 2022, that is Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, the National Nutrition Strategy. Next one is Madhuban Gajar. What's in news? Madhuban Gajar is a biofortified carrot variety with high beta carotene and iron content developed by Sri Vallabh Bhai Vasram Bhai Marwania, a farmer scientist from Junagadh district, Gujarat. Okay. Um, Sri Vallabh Bhai Vasram Bhai Marwania was conferred with Padma Shri in the year 2019 for extraordinary work. The Madhuban Gajar has a highly nutritious carrot variety developed through the selection method with the high beta carotene content of 277.75 mg per kg and iron content is 276.7 mg per kg. Dry basis and is used for various value added products like carrot chips, juices and pickles. Okay, next one is Goldilocks zone. Just go with this picture. Right. The Goldilocks zones refers to the habitable zone around a star where the temperature is just right, not too hot and not too cold, for liquid water to exist on a planet. Just because a planet or moon is in the Goldilocks zone of a star doesn't mean it is going to have life or even liquid water. After all, Earth is not the only planet in the Sun's Goldilocks zone. Venus and Mars are also in this habitable zone but are not currently habitable. Next one is Psyche mission. What's in news? NASA has contracted SpaceX to launch the agency Psyche mission to a unique metal asteroid. Right? The spacecraft will travel to a unique metal-rich asteroid named Psyche, which orbits the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. Astronomers believe that studying this new asteroid will offer new clues about how terrestrial planets like Earth form. According to a statement from NASA, the asteroid is considered unique as it appears to largely be made of the exposed nickel iron core of any early planet, one of the building blocks of our solar system. Rocky terrestrial planets like Earth are believed to have a metallic core. However, it is difficult to observe or measure planets' core directly because it lies far below a planet's mantle and crust. By studying this unique asteroid up close, scientists hope to better understand the violent history of collisions and accretion and that created terrestrial planets. Next one is 2020 CD3. Just go with this picture thoroughly. Alright. What's in news? Recently, astronomers discovered a mini moon named 2020 CD3 orbiting the Earth, making it official for a planet to have two moons. However, it turned out to be a brief affair of events as the mini moon left the planet orbit. Right? 2020 CD3 was first discovered using the NASA's funded Catalina Sky Survey Observatory in Arizona. According to the astronomers, the object may have entered Earth's orbit 3 years ago. It is not confirmed whether 2020 CD3 was a small asteroid or a little chunk from our own moon, broken off in an impact with another space rock. 2020 CD3 departure did not come as a surprise to the astronomers as it was following an unstable orbit around Earth, meaning it was traveling farther and farther away from the planet until it was able to break free from a planet's pull. Currently, it is on its way to follow its original trajectory around the sun, right? Next one is Sunrise mission. Widescreen News, NASA has selected a new mission called the Sun Radio Interferometer Space Experiment, or simply the Sunrise, to study how the sun generates and releases giant space weather storms into planetary space. Okay, the Sunrise is an array of 6 CubeSats operating as one very large radio telescope, which will be built and launched by no earlier than July 1, 2023. The 6 small spacecrafts, each about the size of a toaster oven, will be stationed around 10 kilometers apart into the geosynchronous, geosynchronous Earth orbit, and work together to capture radio images of low frequency emissions from solar activity. These images will help create 3D maps. All right, this is important. 3D maps of solar particles burst to pinpoint where giant particle bursts originate on the sun and how they evolve as they expand outward into space. This information will help improve understanding of how our solar system works. Next one is Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, that is LIGO. Just go with this map thoroughly, mentioned on this picture. Okay, somewhere here it is. All right, and LIGO India is here, right? Widescreen News, in a team of astronomers has detected gravitational waves emerging from the merger of two binary black holes, that is BBH, with significantly unequal masses, named GW190412. The merger was collectively detected on April 19, 2019. The highly sensitive signals were detected using Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, that is LIGO, and Virgo, located in the US and Italy respectively. It was in 2015 when gravitational waves were first detected on Earth. All right. Next one is Kepler 1649c. Here it is. All right. Widescreen News, a team of scientists has recently discovered on Earth-size exoplanet 300 light years away while taking a second look at old observations from NASA's Kepler space telescope that the agency retired in 2018. The planet, called Kepler 1649c, orbits its star's habitable zone, the area around the star where a rocky planet could support liquid water. Kepler 1649c is only 1.06 times larger than Earth. The light received by this planet from its host star is around 75% of the amount of the light Earth receives from our sun. Next one is Tianwen-1 mission. Okay, Tianwen-1 mission. Widescreen News, in July, China will launch its first Mars mission. Okay, right. The Tianwen-1, which is expected to land on the red planet's surface in the first quarter of 2021. All right. The success of the mission will make China the third country to achieve a Mars landing after the USSR and the United States. The Tianwen-1, an all-in-one orbiter, lander and rover, will search the Martian surface for water, ice, investigate soil characteristics, and study the atmosphere, among completing other objectives. The Tianwen-1 mission will lift off on a Long March 5 rocket. Long March 5B, right? China has recently launched the Long March 5B rocket along with a prototype deep space spacecraft. It is being reported that the launch has been successful, which will pave the way for the country's ambitions to operate a permanent space station and sending astronauts to moon. Next one is Cessna Caravan. Okay, Cessna Caravan. What's in news? The world's largest all-electric aircraft, Cessna Caravan, is about to take to the skies for the first time. This will be the largest aircraft ever to fly on electric power. It is retrofitted with an electric engine, is expected to fly for 20 to 30 minutes over Washington state in the US. The plane can carry 9 passengers, but a test pilot will undertake the inaugural flight alone, cruising at a speed of 114 mph, that is 183 kilometer per hour, right? A 750 horsepower electric engine was made by Magnix, an Australian electric motor manufacturer. All right. The aircraft could enter commercial service by the end of 2021 and have a range of 100 miles. In December last year, an engine from the same company powered a seaplane in Vancouver, Canada, in what was described as the world's first 100% electric flight, right? Okay, so that's all for today's session. Hope you like our videos. Share our videos with your friends. Stay home, stay safe. Okay, thank you.